On Huawei, the Department of Justice and the FBI have announced a 16-count indictment against the company. Charges include racketeering and stealing trade secrets. So this is the latest salvo. Akiko, you've been following this story pretty closely here. How serious? I mean, it's hard to figure out with each of these new developments how much of a ratcheting up it really is.
Yeah, just add this onto the long list of lawsuits that we've heard, especially over the last several weeks. I think you want to look at this in the broader picture here. On the one hand, you've got the U.S., which has very publicly over the last several weeks said, we are going to find a way to build an alternative to what Huawei has. The latest coming out today from the Munich conference is the White House officials reportedly, according to Reuters, saying that, look, we're going to try to find a partner in the telco industry here in the U.S. to build an alternative. At the same time, the U.S. is trying to slow Huawei's growth, right? I mean, the reality is Huawei just got this big contract over in the U.K. after the U.S. pressured them. So you're kind of seeing the U.S. operate on two tracks here. On the one hand, trying to rally sort of the tech players here in the U.S. to build an alternative, whatever that could be. But on the other hand, keeping Huawei in check. And I sort of see this very latest lawsuit as a part of that.
You know what's amazing about this? RICO charges, racketeering charges were designed to go after the mob. And just let that distill for a second. And they're very hard to prove. The federal government doesn't levy those charges lightly. And when you read some of the details, the company Huawei allegedly had an internal codified compensation plan for stealing company secrets. I mean, if it's documented to that degree, what's the potential fallout?
Well, what's kind of interesting about this is that a lot of these things have been documented before, right? I mean, having that compensation plan in place, that was part of the Motorola lawsuit that we saw. Those documents were revealed last year as well. There are some new elements here, which includes Huawei reportedly doing business not just with Iran, but also North Korea as well. So there's new details in there. But Huawei, of course, is going to shape this as a way to say, look, these are just old grievances the U.S. is raising again, which is exactly what they said in their statement. The U.S. has serious concerns, and rightly so, but I think there is a bit of a struggle right now with the administration on how to approach this, as especially the European allies start to sign on board with Huawei.
Yeah, the Huawei statement says something specifically about the U.S. trying to turn an entire country against one company. And I thought that was interesting, coming out swinging. You're right, they can basically use the same variation of every statement so far for everything that has happened.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.